Today, it's my privilege to present our nation's highest civilian honor to some just incredible people, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, greatest golfers in history. These are three of the greatest athletes and golfers in history: Gary Player, Annika Sorenstam, and Babe Zaharias. We're delighted to be joined by Representatives Brian Babbitt and Randy Weber. Thank you very much, and for doing such a great job. Men of courage, warriors. They're warriors too, Gary, along with family and friends of the recipients. Gary Player, I know him well for a long time, right? A long time. Grew up in Johannesburg, South Africa. At age 14, he received his first set of golf clubs and quickly decided that he wanted to become a professional golfer. Over the next 60 years, he shattered records and dominated the sport of golf. Incredible player. He played in more Masters tournaments than anyone in history. He won tournaments 27 years in a row. That's got to be a record, Gary, right? Is there a record like that? That's a lot even for Annika, I think. And he's the only modern golfer to win the Open Championship in 3 different decades. Wow. He won more than 165 tournaments and 18 major championships. It's 9 and 9. I think 9 seniors and 9 regulars, right? That's nobody's done that. And became the only person ever to win the Grand Slam on both the regular and senior tours. Over the course of his career, Gary hit an unbelievable 31 holes in one. You did? Wow. It's a lot more than I've had. It's unusual, though. 31 is unusual no matter what, right? Do you know who has the record?
I think Art Wall.
That's right.
My wife had 2 in 1 round.
Oh, well, I like that better. I like that better. In the final round of the 1978 Masters, Gary was 7 strokes behind the leader and in 10th place going into the final round. The Black Knight, as he's called, rallied and birdied 6 of the next 9 holes. On the 18th green, he was tied for the lead. He then sunk a 15-foot putt for a birdie, as usual, taking the lead, setting a course record, and winning his 3rd green jacket. I was watching, too. It was the greatest comeback in Masters history, and I believe it still is, to this day, the greatest comeback in Masters history. And as a professional golfer, Gary earned the title Mr. Fitness. He just told me, he said, "Sir, lose a couple of pounds." I said, "Okay, Gary." I said, he said it in front of Annika. That was very rude. Don't you? How rude can you be? And transformed the public perception of the sport of golf forever. It's true. Into his 80s, Gary did 1,000 push-ups and sit-ups a day. In fact, he did a lot of them for me. Recently we played, and he started doing sit-ups and push-ups, and then he hit a 3-wood onto a par 5 like it was nothing. It was pretty impressive. And he compared himself to most guys at that age, and they said, a little different. They don't have that shot, Gary, do they? They never did. At age 79, he leg pressed 400 pounds, and Tiger Woods called it the most amazing thing that I've ever seen in the gym. And Tiger is a friend of ours also. He got this award, this very award, about 7 months ago. Gary has written over 20 golf books and helped design 400 golf course projects. He's a great designer. He was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame and became golf's global ambassador. Gary is also an exceptional he has given a lot of money away, philanthropist, and he won his first U.S. Open in 1965. He donated all of the winnings to charity, all of it. He said, "The American people have treated me so well that I wanted to give something back," and he's given a lot back. The Gary Player Foundation has raised more than $64 million to educate underprivileged children all around the world. In South Africa, Gary fought to end apartheid and helped integrate the sport of golf. Nelson Mandela said that few men in our country's history did as much to enact political change for the better. And I was with the leader of South Africa recently, and I mentioned Gary's name, and it was like I mentioned magic. He had such respect. Gary reached the greatest heights of athletic achievement and used his influence and power to help build a better, more just, and more enlightened world. And I just want to congratulate a friend of mine, a real friend of mine. He's just a great gentleman. He's a great man, not only a great golfer, he's certainly I think has to be top 3 in history, because when you win over 160 tournaments and you win 18 majors, you know, other than Jack and Tiger, I mean, it's something to me, top 3. Now, he may be angry. He may say, why aren't I number 1, you know? But it's pretty close, I'll tell you what. And I said, when you win 160 plus tournaments, Gary, that means you never choked, because that's so many tournaments. You're winning almost, even with a long career, you're winning like every weekend. So he didn't know about choking too much. And another one that doesn't choke, never has, the opposite. You know, these great athletes get better under pressure. Most fail, fortunately, right? We like to see that. Most fail under pressure, but the great ones get better under pressure.
You were my size when you were 6. Mr. President and Annika and the representative, Babe, this incredible athlete. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, you said that I never choked in golf tournaments. And quite honestly, I never did choke because of the upbringing that I had. But I was choking today because I stand in this room with you, sir, and all these wonderful guests in this wonderful White House, which has helped change the world for the better. As a young boy, I was very poor and struggled like a junkyard dog. And what I'm saying today comes from the bottom of my heart, with appreciation and unadulterated gratitude. There is only one United States in the world. I'm so humbled by this award, and thank you, Mr. President, for this wonderful honor. This is the greatest honor I've ever had bestowed upon me in my 70 years of playing golf around the world. I would like to dedicate this wonderful honor to my wife, who's currently battling with pancreatic cancer and cannot be here today, who's put up with me for 64 years with unwavering love and support. I'd like you to know on camera how much I appreciate it and how much I love you. I'd also like to thank my family, and a lot of them are here today, about a third of them. And Mr. President, when you have a family like this and you saw them and you said, my word, can you imagine taking all your family to dinner? You've got to win the tournament to break even just to pay. They all ate like it was the Last Supper. And to my country, South Africa, my homeland, thank you. And lastly, to all the people around the world who've given me all the love and support that I appreciate. America has helped many countries around the world, and I hope the leaders will continue to help underprivileged people of this country. Winston Churchill, my all-time hero, said, "The youth of a nation are the trustees of posterity." I have confidence that the youth of America will keep this country at the helm and continue the fight for freedom with all the vigor that is possible. My brother joined the American Allies during the World War. At the age of 17, he left South Africa. My brother-in-law never came back. And whilst on the subject of people that did so much, we must never forget to thank Dr. Martin Luther King, who had a command of the English language that was quite unique. President Mandela, who I spent a lot of time with in South Africa, and we raised a lot of money for young black children. And I said to him one day when I first met him, "You must have a lot of revenge and hatred in your heart." He said, "To the contrary, I have no hatred and no revenge. This is how you judge great people. Love beats hate all the time." Mahatma Gandhi fasted to change hundreds of millions of people that were wanting to go to war, and he succeeded. And he walked across India basically with a set of sandals, a walking stick, and a robe, and was so successful. But there are also a lot of other great people that have made a difference to the freedom of the world. And I know this is very close to your heart, sir. And let's pay tribute and never forget the vets of this world, which you've spoken to me frequently about and support. Without them, we would not be here today. Freedom is not a gift. Freedom is something that we've had to fight for throughout ages and lost many wonderful lives, and we've got to cherish it. It has been said that I've traveled more miles than anybody in the last 60 to 70 years, and I've witnessed racism, I've witnessed communism, and I've witnessed dictatorships. And I think the most significant thing that I'd like to say today, I've learned to fight against them. It's a learning process. Jack Nicklaus, my best friend today, Charlie Sifford, who was given this award, who suffered a great deal and succeeded in the end and died a very happy man, and I knew him very well. Arnold Palmer, this charismatic man that loved people and did so much. Tiger Woods, this phenomenal golfer. And now Annika Sorenstam. Nobody could ever possibly be better than this lady. And what a lady, and what a mother, and what a family. And to the babe who's now in heaven but watching us, I firmly believe that. How do you ever describe that a woman could be that talented? My goodness me, I'm pleased I wasn't married to her. If I came home late, she would have knocked the hell out of me. But I look back on my career, and I'm so grateful and thankful and appreciative that I was able to change the lives of many, many people around the world. And on this point, I'm extremely proud and thankful that Lee Elder accepted my invitation to come to South Africa to participate in our PGA and help me fight against racism, which he did with great courage. I was called a traitor. He was put under lots of pressure. And there are a host of other pros that came to South Africa to do the same mission. You know, I've been so honored to receive this award from the President and from this great country, and by the grace of God, that I actually prepared this speech, which is taking no more than 2 minutes, for 6 months. And I went over and over, and I thought, I've got to end up, because it's the end of the speech that means so much. And I went over this in many, many ways. And this is basically what I ended up saying. In conclusion, I am confident that America will continue to cultivate the perfection of good people, who will forever honor and cherish freedom. May freedom be sacredly maintained. I get goose pimples when I say this last statement. God bless America, which I love so much. Thank you.